Welcome to Yoga Bliss. Namaste. I'm Shelly. Welcome to the ABCs of Yoga Asanas. The ABCs of Yoga Asanas is for beginners to really help you deepen your practice. Whether you're a beginner or an intermediate, it's always good to go back to the basics. I did hair for 14 years, and as I would find myself being stagnant doing hair for 14 years, I would go back to the basics and I would relearn things. So no matter where you are in life, if you're a beginner yogi, or an advanced yogi, or just a person who's really interested in the practice of yoga, this is for you. The first A, I have 6 different asanas for the ABCs. We're going to begin with A. The first A is Ardha Matsyendrasana. Ardha Matsyendrasana is the half lord of the fishes, which is a seated spinal twist. Our second A is going to be Anjaneyasana, which is the crescent lunge, and we can do different variations with that. The third is going to be Adho Mukha Savasana, or most popularly known as the downward facing dog. And we're going to go over all of these, but I created these arts that I want to show you. Ardha Chandrasana, and in yoga Sanskrit, Ardha, A-R-D-H-A, means half. This is the half moon. And then we are going to have Apanasana, one of my favorites, the double wind reliever, the tummy massager, and then Ardha, another half Navasana, boat. Join me for the ABCs of Yoga Asanas. Get ready to deepen your practice, or open your heart and expand with a beginner's mindset. Always stepping back to the ABCs, the elementary foundations of anything, is a beautiful way to start a practice. I love you so much. Namaste. Welcome to the ABCs of Yoga, the A series. We're going to begin with Sukhasana. For me, Sukhasana, it's not an A, but Sukhasana. If you notice, asana. In the Yoga Asanas, every movement ends in asana, which is beautiful, but sometimes people say Sukhasana, and you think, oh, what is right? It's always asana when it ends in asana. Asana is what creates the movement of yoga. So just begin by allowing yourself to let go and find a Sukhasana. So maybe it's crisscross applesauce. For me, sometimes I like a foot on top of the other. Some people don't have the range of mobility in their knees. They have the knees are injured. So sometimes legs out, or just allowing yourself to take a savasana, asana, and just allowing yourself to settle in, finding your favorite Sukhasana. And taking a breath, an audible breath. We're going to start with an A as in an audible breath. Audible meaning a sound that you can make. It could be an ah or a h sound. Bringing the awareness and the breath into the lower belly. Taking a breath into that belly. And exhaling a audible sound. Bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra, which is a mudra, which is, some people call it the prayer. Anjali Mudra is, for me, just summoning my higher self together. In an Anjali Mudra, to correctly make an Anjali Mudra, you're actually creating space, which is going to create energy between the fingers. And placing the thumbs against the sternum, which is that breastplate, or right in front of the heart chakra. Breathing in a nice green, an emerald green breath into the heart space. With an audible exhale, taking 4 audible breaths at your own pace, each time allowing yourself to deepen. Tuning into an intention for this practice. Maybe you're here to learn some ABCs of asanas, maybe you just want to expand your horizon, or maybe you really like me. I really like you too, I love you. I'm so excited and so thrilled that you're truly here. Breathing a breath into that heart center and allowing you to let go. In yoga, the heart is known as the anahata, another A in the ABCs of yoga. Breathing in and letting go. Anahata is the energetic heart. It's not always just the beat of our heart. We're tuning into ourselves at a deeper level. So we have 2 A's down. Our anahata, opening and expanding, breathing in a deep green breath. Green is the color of your anahata chakra, your heart chakra, which surrounds and illuminates this entire space. Hands at Anjali Mudra, creating that space, that energetic palm kissing palm, creating a nice erect spine and setting an intention for yourself. Allow yourself to let go and know wherever you are on your mat. This is your practice and it is okay. Breathing a deep breath into that heart space and tuning into Ardha Matsyendrasana, which is the half twist or half Lord of the Fishes. Half Lord of the Fishes can be 1 foot straight out and 1 foot crossing over. This is going to be a gentler version of half Lord of the Fishes of Ardha Matsyendrasana, and you hug the leg into the body, open up and expand to the opposite side, and creating an energetic toe as you ground down through the calf, through the hamstrings, the back body, through the glutes, and you'll really feel a stretch, the big glutes, the gluteus maximus in your booty here, while you twist at the spine here. This is the first variation of Ardha Matsyendrasana. The second is going to be to driving the heel in towards the opposite hip. But I have had students who this is a very big challenge for them, and staying here is all they can do. So if this is where you are today, this is okay. But if your body allows you to, tucking that foot in, moving that heel towards the sit bone, inhaling, lengthening through the crown, imagining there's that beautiful light, maybe it's that green, that light of our anahata, shining from the crown of our head, rooting down through our sit bones and our toes. And you're going to ground it through your opposite foot here, being aware if the foot's trying to lean in or out, keeping integrity of the spine, and breathing a breath into that anahata. Now allow yourself to melt. Breathing into breath into the anahata. And exhaling. And finding a neutral spine facing forward, bringing your anahata, your heart facing the screen. And exhaling, you can hug at the knee, or some students like to put an arm raised up. You could raise up at the arm in rotating, pulling that shoulder away from the ear, rising up at the heart space, elongating. Feel the compression on the ribs and the body that's away from you, and the expansion of the ribs away from you. Breathing in an audible breath. So breathing it in, and exhaling out. You can really let yourself let go here. Breathing in and exhaling. Coming back to a neutral spine, relocating to the center. And allowing that top leg to journey out, maybe finding a little bit of a dandasana, a little staff pose, just grounding down through your sit bones and the feet. And exhaling, switching the opposite direction. So if this is where you were, keeping the straight leg rooted down into the earth, rooting with the calf and the quads and the glutes, and rooting in with that foot. And if this is what was good for you, you can stay here, you can hug, or you can move the arm in the opposite direction and bring your body this way. Or if you're feeling like your body is up for it, you can cross here, hug that leg in here. Or another variation is tucking, driving that heel towards the sit bone, grounding in through the foot onto the earth, and grounding in through your glutes and running all the way to the side of your calf and the side of your foot, as in these are connecting you to the earth. Elongate your spine, roll the shoulders, maybe a humble little tuck to the chin, hugging the knee into the chest, or choosing to post the arm up and giving an energetic 5. Posting up on the tips of the fingers or resting the fingers onto the earth. Inhaling your breath into the Anahata and exhaling. Finding your first ABCs of yoga asanas, Ardha, Matsyendrasana. Inhale to rise, maybe give yourself a little hug to neutralize the spine. And exhale, finding the opposite direction. So really being mindful here, allowing yourself to be present here. Tuning into that intention of growing. You can always grow. Growing is amazing. Inhaling the breath into the heart. Exhaling to neutral. Allowing yourself to make your way to tabletop. So if that looks like kind of coming up to the knees, and tuning in for the next A, which is Adho Mukha Savasana, better known as down-facing dog. A proper down-facing dog is going to look like starfish hands. If you're like me and have bigger bones and a wider frame, it actually works amazing wonders to allow the pinky to actually cross over the edge. So it's almost placing your ring finger on parallel to the edge of the mat. Or if you have a smaller frame, bring the palms of the hand, opening up and imagining your hands are now your feet that are rooted into the earth. So grounding in through the thumb and the pointer finger, putting your weight there and then spreading and expanding into the pinky. Posting up on the heels and allowing your sit bones to drive up towards the ceiling, up towards the sun. And as your sit bones root up to the sun, slightly rotate the biceps outward and allow the shoulder blades to open up. Allow the spine to elongate here and really drive and challenge yourself to push your weight up and out through the body, finding a little bit of comfort and ease here. In Adho Mukha Savasana, there's several different variations that you can take that you might have seen or taken in a yoga class, which is walking out your dog. Maybe you've heard your instructor or other teachers say to pedal your heels. And being okay with wherever you are with your heels. If your heels are like mine, I have tighter hamstrings and they go up a little bit higher. You can, for comfort, you can always grab a pillow. Good job. Down dog. Can you walk out your dog? Can you walk your feet? You're doing it. You're really good at that. Or a rolled up blanket if you have. And for comfort, you can actually post and you can put your heels and try to root down into your heels back through the pillow. Or as you're in your Adho Mukha Savasana, your down dog, you can actually roll up the back of your mat. And as you roll up your back of your mat, it might be a little bit tricky. You can kind of stop it with one foot, rooting through your hands, and you can press in and kind of find a little bit of balance and support through the back of your mat. It's not going to give you that much support. The pillow is going to be much better. But allowing yourself to walk out your dog. And this is going to lead us into our next pose, which is going to be Anjaneyasana, which is the crescent lunge. So from Adho Mukha Savasana, we're going to point our left leg up high to the sky. And you might have done tricks like tucking the chin into the nose, exhaling or opening up the hip and opening up the heart here, one of my favorites. And inhaling, allowing that foot to run and track all the way through and framing in between the hands. And if you find yourself, because I know in the beginning it gets tricky and sometimes we're just not up for it, our foot will stop here. So finding support, bonk, bonk, and bringing that foot forward here. In crescent lunge, the first variation, we are going to release the hind foot down to the earth, tracking that foot, the ankle, and the knee behind each other, tuning into the front knee. And if you have a blanket here, would be a great thing to grab. A blanket under the knee is always great. In one of my home practice classes, I have the student, and I have been teaching her several times, and I noticed that she had 3 mats. And I finally asked her one day, why do you have 3 mats? And she said, my knee always hurts when I go down onto the hard grounds. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. We should have always used, you never tried a blanket. And she never tried a blanket. So try a blanket so you're not burying your knee into the earth or the hard floors, or even this house is carpeted, but it hurts your knee. So really tuning into, for Anjaneyasana, Anjaneyasana, when you say something too many times it gets contorted. The crescent lunge, you want it to ground to the foot in the front and really tune into the ankle and the knee, allowing the core to engage, elongating here, and the hips want to be rooted and pointing straight forward, facing the short edge of your mat. And like I said, really tuning into that hind foot if it's tracking back. Being aware if that leg or the hip that you're supporting on is turning out or turning in, really using that core engagement. And in yoga, we actually have, there's bandhas or locks. And the first one is where our genitals meet, our anus and then our genitals, so squeezing there. And then the second one is our tummy, which is the one that we drop most often. And then the third is under our chin. So just imagining like a line that's zippered up. And if that kind of sounds a little bit crazy to you, just really engage the core and tune into your Anahata. And tune into, we're going to bring our hands to Anjali Mudra, to the heart space. Elongate through the spine, roll the shoulder blades back, and just take a moment here to breathe a breath. Maybe soften the gaze. Find a drishti. In yoga, we have something called a drishti, which is a visual aid. A drishti will help you find a little stillness inside. Breathing a breath into the heart and releasing an audible sound. Breathing into the heart. An audible sound. Inhaling here. So option with Anjaneyasana is to stay down, which is beautiful. This is where you're at. This is wonderful. Or if you want something a little bit deeper, posting up that hind foot, engaging through the rooted foot into the earth, squeezing the thighs and raising up through the glutes, the booty muscles, powering up, elongating the spine and pushing yourself up, really hugging the hips together, tightening that corset of strength of the core together. Inhale, rising the arms up. Exhaling here, and you can do different variations like rotating and opening up on the side here for a side body twist. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, twisting at the opposite side. Taking a moment here to ground and feel rooted into the earth. Inhale to rise. And then to find the true crescent lunge, it actually is a back bend. So inhale to find that beautiful back bend, allowing the core to stay strong and rooted, shining that Anahata all around your environment, really shining your light for all to see. Taking a breath into the heart and allowing yourself to exhale, slowly floating back down to the earth. Maybe taking a moment here to find a counter stretch, coming back into that heel. Inhaling here. So tuning back into, we can pop up into Adho Mukha Savasana, or you can just put knee kissing knee. So tuning into whatever that looks like for you that's going to be more comfortable. I'm going to go for Adho Mukha Savasana. My hands frame my foot. Inhale, rising the opposite foot up, and I'm going to walk my dog. Inhaling the opposite leg up into the sun, tucking the knee to the nose. Exhaling, opening up for that Adho Mukha Savasana, opening up the hip. And slowly and mindfully allowing that foot to post forward. Framing in between the hands. Moving that blanket over. Or if you have a pillow, you can use that too. Resting the knee onto the earth. Tracking the top of the foot, the heel, the knee, the ankle. Tuning in here. Tuning into the four corners of the feet. In yoga, we have four corners of the feet, which are 2 in the front and 2 in the heel. So grounding into those four corners, lifting up the toes, and pressing the toes into the earth. Tuning into that foundation, the ABCs, the elementariness of this pose. Checking in with the ankle, the knee, putting the hands on the hips. If the hips have a tendency to drop out, which they most likely do, tuning them forward, facing the short edge of the mat. Yes, Jack, and my son Jack is here. This is my real life. and I do yoga, and I do have children. Actually, I have 3 children and a puppy here. And so being open to whatever's happening in my life right now. Inhale, facing forward. So you can stay here. We can do that twist to the side. Exhaling the arms, twisting the spine, slowly bringing up the spine of the body towards the bent knee. Inhale the arms to a T, or if you want something a little bit deeper, posting up in that hind foot, tuning into that core set of core strength, wrapping all the way around to your back here. We have this bundle of muscles on our back, elongating through the spine, shooting energy from the crown of the head down to the sit bones, raising up, really powering the core together, rising up and rotating, twisting the spine in the opposite direction. Inhale to rise here, straight above. Exhale, giving that beautiful back bend that makes this crescent lunge so beautiful and beneficial to the body. Compressing the spine and opening the front of the body, shining that anahata for the room to see. Exhaling, allowing the arms to float down. And inhaling, hands forward and stepping that other foot forward. And slowly from Uttasana, which is the forward fold, not an A, but it's a transition. Transitioning, maybe just taking a moment here and inhale slowly and surely, root to rise. Root to rise is a term that we use in yoga, meaning root to the earth and rise up to the sun. As we root to the sun, our next pose is going to be Ardha Chandrasana, which is the half moon, one of my favorite beautiful balancing poses. Balancing poses in yoga are so amazing and so wonderful, and they can detour a lot of people. So Ardha Chandrasana, a beautiful balancing pose. Choose the foot that you would like to work on. I'm choosing my left. Choose what works for you. Find a wall that doesn't have too many pictures. This wall has a lot of pictures, but I'm going to just work slowly around this wall. So bringing the attention into that foot and really tuning into those 4 corners, to the ankle, to the knee, all the way up to the hip joint, and being aware if that hip is wanting to drop out or coming in, creating a long line through this body. So really powering into that foot and just bringing your awareness and getting your balance off of this foot and into the other foot, into the earth. So feeling what that feels like here. And exhaling here. So Ardha Chandrasana, bringing that weight into the body and slowly allow yourself to hinge forward. My beautiful hinge is here. And as you hinge forward, you actually are going to want to open up your hips and rise that back leg, but being aware of that hip that's wanting to drop, so keeping core engagement and dropping here. And coming on the wall and opening up the arms and opening up the hips, shoulders stacking over shoulders. And if you have really amazing flexibility, you can go to the earth, or if you have something you could hold onto like a chair, that would be amazing here. A chair or a block, but my block is missing. One of my little children took it. So really powering into that body and what it feels like. I can't see myself, but it's going to want to look like a nice straight line here. Really powering up at the glutes, powering up at the core, powering up at the hip, and opening up that body here. Tuning into that drishti, that visual point, something that will help you keep your focus. Breathing an audible breath into the heart and allowing it to exhale. Tuning into an energetic hand, powering energy from the tips of our toes. We're like this beautiful moon, rays shining brightly her anahata in all corners of the room. Slowly and consciously allowing the arms to bend at the side. And if that was too tricky, keeping the arm bent at the side is another beautiful one. Slowly bending at the knee and tucking, and allowing yourself to hang forward. We're coming up and shaking out. I love shaking out after a balancing pose. My body just, it feels the best. So tuning into what that felt like, wow, and feeling what it feels like, wow, to feel the strength and the power in this leg versus the leg that, for me, it feels just a little bit weaker. It feels like, okay, I need some balance in my body. So tuning into that opposite leg, checking in for our Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon. And feeling what it feels like to just bringing our awareness to that foot as we're rooted to the 4 corners of the foot. We're tuning in to the ankle, into the calf, into the knee, to the hamstrings, the glutes to that core cylinder, rotating the shoulders, rolling the shoulders back, and bringing the awareness into that foot while we're gliding, slowly balancing with that drishti, allowing that leg to open, allowing that arm to open, and allowing your arm to float down, waterfall down, and float the other hand up to the sky, keeping power and strength like there's an invisible wall on that hind leg here. Inhaling here. This is my beautiful daughter, June. She's home from school today with a little sore throat, but she is a beautiful moon. Beautiful work, June. Point that foot facing this wall. See? If you point this foot facing this wall, and you find length between your leg and your hip, and you open up here.
I'm hungry.
Opening up the body here. Taking an audible breath into that anahata, that spiritual, energetic heart. Allow yourself to be present. And the wall is here to catch you. The wall is your friend. Being okay with where you are in your practice, if you're feeling wobbly, or if you need a chair, or if you can go down to the earth, do what feels good for you. Slowly, mindfully float that arm down. Slowly and consciously let the other leg float down to the earth, and allow yourself to shake it out. So for our Chandrasana, using the wall for our ABCs to our foundation, to our elementary stages of yoga is beautiful. And then when you're up for it, you can feel what it feels like to be away from the wall. And that is going to look like this. It's the same thing, but you're just going to use your own power and your own strength. And it's all about really tuning into the mind.
Yeah, she's
slowing
right.
down the
Mommy's
mind
right.
and being in tune with
You
your
have cute
body.
bud.
It's just going to be slow and steady here. I really recommend a block for this though, because the block is great, but I'm sorry my block is missing, but that's okay.
It's okay.
So tuning into the body. Oh, can you bring it in?
Yes.
My block. A yoga block, a thick book might be a little more challenging, or a chair. So when you are away from the wall, when you're ready to step up from the ABCs, maybe you're like at ABC and you're ready for like D, E, F, G, right? Elementaries, we're moving up. You could use the block, which is my BFF during this practice for Ardha Chandrasana. You power into the foot and you allow that body to slowly float. And the block is actually not too far from your body, but on the outside of the foot. And then you can just open up your body like a book here. And you stack the shoulders over the shoulder and you rise from that foot in the earth and being okay with wherever you are. So that's Ardha Chandrasana, which is a beautiful, balancing, amazing pose. Allow yourself to just feel what it feels like here in this body, strengthen into the earth. And slowly you can fold forward for Uttasana. Just transitioning down, crouching down, and giving yourself a hug, a little love and gratitude. Tuning into that anahata, that spiritual heart. Slowly making your way down to your booty, down to your mat. Bringing the soles of the feet onto the earth, and slowly allowing our body to rest onto the earth. Coming in for going next is Ardha Navasana. So slowly, like a string of mala beads, rolling down to the earth, allowing your body to root into the earth. Rooting down at your calves, at your hamstrings, your glutes, your booty, your spine, your shoulders. As you root your shoulders in. For Ardha Navasana, as we're rooted into the earth for our body, using your core, Ardha Navasana, imagine there's an invisible wall and your job is to power your feet and open up your toes, creating an energetic toe, a Shakti toe. And inhaling for a little variation, inhale to rise the left foot up. Just feel what it feels like to float your body off the floor. Inhale to rise your left foot up. Exhale to the earth, and just inhaling each arm slowly for a little dynamic variation. So inhale to rise for the half boat. Inhale to rise using the core engagement, being aware that you're not stressing or straining the neck muscles or the clavicle, like the muscles in your upper chest. Really expanding here and opening up the front of the body, raising up at the quads, and bringing your body off the earth and exhaling down. You're feeling what that feels like here for Ardha Navasana. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to sink into the earth. Inhale to rise up, 3 breaths here. Inhaling into the heart. Exhaling. Being okay with shaking is good. Inhaling in. Exhale to sink. Inhaling in. Exhale to sink into the earth. The final ABCs of Asana Yoga is Apanasana, the double wing reliever. The double wing reliever is going to look like rooting into the earth, rooting down and through your back, rooting in through your shoulders, and with core engagement, hugging the knees up into the chest. And with Apanasana, you can really work on that lower back by massaging it into the earth side to side. Your back, through your shoulders, hugging the knees up to the chest, choosing to interlace the fingers together, or individually holding and squeezing each knee into the body. As I just learned from this beautiful soul that I practice yoga with for the past 5 months, imagining there's a paintbrush, a pencil, a pen, a crayon, a marker on the tops of your knees, and your job is to paint the sky. So using your Apanasana to be creative here, because in yoga there's always room for creativity, just like in life, there's always room for creativity. So using the knees to draw a picture. Maybe it's some rainbows, maybe you want to draw some hearts, some stars, some zigzag lines, or maybe just some beautiful fluid circles. Allowing yourself to just expand, open up at the glutes here while we're compressing in at the lower belly and massaging all of those lower internal organs here. Apanasana allows us to cool and calm down the nervous system. It's just a beautiful way to just allow ourselves to find a little bit of comfort and ease after an asana practice. Tuning into that body and the core and slowly floating one foot down to the earth and allowing the other one to float, and letting the legs melt down and sink into your mat for your final pose of Savasana. No matter what practice that you do, ABCs of asanas or any practice at home, allow yourself to find Savasana, which is, for me, it's the only way that I like to practice. I just love to finish here. It allows yourself to let go at a deeper level. So when you take your final pose of surrender, stay laying down. I'm going to rise up. Allow yourself to surrender. Allow yourself to melt at the heels, melt at the calves, deepen through the knees, let the hamstrings go, allow the glutes, the sit bones to sink, let the navel deepen, allowing each of the ribs, that space, the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles to deepen. Allowing the Anahata to truly shine and open, radiating that green emerald light. Allowing the shoulder blades, the shoulders, the biceps, the triceps, all of the fingers, the phalanges to let go. Letting go at the neck, letting go at the jaw, dropping the tongue, sinking the nose, deepening at the eyelids, and the third eye. Allowing the scalp to deepen into this moment. Allowing yourself to find gratitude for your body and gratitude for this practice. Taking a deep breath into that belly and releasing an audible sound. Breathing in and exhaling deeper and deeper, taking 5 of your own breaths while I read a quote to you from a book. Breathing into that heart, expanding at the heart and letting go. From Deepak Chopra's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. The first spiritual law, the law of pure potentiality. The source of all creation is pure consciousness, pure potentiality seeking expression from the unmanifest to the manifest. And when we realize that our true self is one of pure potentiality, we align with the power that manifests everything in the universe. allowing yourself to know that you are a pure expression of love, and that what is within you is good. There's always goodness and love and light within you. And when you can tune into the love and the light that is within you, you can truly manifest whatever it is that your heart desires. Thank you so much. I am truly grateful for you in sharing your heart with me, your anahata. And please, I encourage you to share this with anybody that you love or anyone that you know that you think would enjoy this. And please subscribe to Yoga Bliss. I really am truly grateful for you. Thank you so much. Namaste, beautiful friends.